Hi everyone, welcome to Cooking with Artists. My name is Mina Stone. I'm the chef and owner of Mina's restaurant at Bamieh PS1. I wanted to interview different artists and have them share something personal about cooking and food from their world. My hope is that it shines a light on the essence of who they are, their work, and hopefully who we are as a society.
But there's so many. If I open my fridge for you now, you will see how many jars I have. My name is Mirna Bamieh. I'm an artist from Jerusalem, Palestine, and my work in art was for 10 years, maybe till 2016, in video and video installations. But starting 2016, I started becoming more interested in artworks that involve people and involves an interaction and encounters. I started a project in 2017 called Palestine Hosting Society, and it's a live art project that collects recipes, mostly Palestinian recipes, and that are on the verge of disappearing, the recipes that are leaving us for different reasons. And I try to collect them to understand why did they leave us, or why are they leaving us, how bringing them back to the present moment might help us rewrite the present moment. Sometimes we forget how much food can bring to the table, to actually bring to the table, other than, delicious taste that you can share with people. It has another way of narrating history and of you looking back at events that you thought that you understood, but actually there's another way. Like, there are so many dishes that made me ask questions of so how did this geography look like 50 years ago? Why did this dish disappear? What was planted in this land and it stopped being produced, so this dish stopped being cooked? Who used to live here and they stopped living here? Who left? What are the different civilizations and generations that inhabited this place that brought those ingredients to this land? It's not flat. The deeper you dig, the more you know. And I think, especially for a nation that has been going through like colonization after colonizations, such as the Palestinians, we have been consuming the same story over and over, and our story, even the one that we tell ourselves, has been flattened. So one way of reversing that and to decolonize the way we practice our identity and the others see us is to go back to those practices that have been more and more lost, and try from that way to take that as a gateway to rewrite our story. I remember there was this moment when I was 19 years old. And when you're 19, you don't want to do anything that is expected for you. You want to break all the rules. You want to create your own individualistic identity, separated from, like all the things that are cliched and are expected from you. But there was this thing that I caught myself doing and craving when I first came back home after a year of travel. And I left, like, after high school. I came back after 1 year, and I remember the one thing that I was craving the most was za'atar and olive oil. And za'atar is a spice mix. It's based on thyme and sumac and sesame and salt. And then during my research on wild edible plants, I discovered that picking and foraging wild thyme from the mountains, there's certain legislations against that. In 1977, Sharon put this legislation that you cannot just go to the mountains and pick thyme as much as you want. And thyme is very close to Palestinians. Like, za'atar is, like it's a thing. It's very connected to the way, to our food practice, to the way we practice our identity daily. So to take that from us, it really creates this, it breaks something, and this act of going to the mountain to have that ruptured and rendered dangerous or not allowed, that creates a disconnection of, you know, the body and its connection to the land. It really shook me when I realized that actually politics has even interfered with that moment. And because Israel wanted to farm za'atar, they prohibited the wild foraging and just, you know, like the free za'atar. Because I was thinking the recipe that I wanted to share is related to the second thing that I love the most in food, which is wild plants. And there's this really delicious carob and olive oil and anise cake that's very healthy, that's vegan, and it has carob molasses, so it doesn't even have sugar inside of it. And I love chocolate. And it's so hard to think that there's no chocolate in this cake. So yeah, there's so many reasons for that cake, and it's easy. So when the lockdown started last year, my body was reacting to those time of anxieties and uncertainty and fear by going to the kitchen, and I was not cooking as much as I was fermenting. It's what fermentation represents for me. It's preservation, prolonging the time and the life of produce that is on the verge of dying. You create sustainability for yourself and for your loved ones, because you have something to share with them that does not go back with time. For me, the space of the jar is a beautiful space of containment. The bacterial life that happens is, it's you know, there's cultures that fight inside the jar, and you have the color and the smell keeps changing with time. So for me, it was a way to slow down time and to somehow create a sense of control over you know, the fears that was happening in the world and in my country and everywhere, like with the virus. And I share, you know, I share jars and bottles of kefir and kombucha and different kinds of ferment and mixes with all my friends, because, you know, my kitchen cannot take everything. So it's a way for me to share and to spread it, and it's good for them. And I think I chose food and I chose to do what I do because it makes me a better person, and it makes me see people as better people.
Oh,
and to see hope, you know, because I don't think there is a nation that lost hope as much as Palestinians, and I don't think there's a nation that really is still holding to hope as much as Palestinians. And we have beautiful food that is mostly forgotten, but we can share, and we can heal, and we can nurture. So yeah.